Go for it. Hello and welcome to Double Dragon Trouble. And I'm always adjusting windows and stuff while I'm doing this presentation, so I look a bit vacant-minded. Welcome, DnD. Yeah, we're back for another 2 hours of excellent gaming. I'm your Dungeon Master, Thijs Petersoner, and I'm joined by 3 magnificent players today. The heroes of the realm, the resistance against the tyranny of dragons, starting with someone who's been absent for too long, Frederik Pandu playing Dinok, the Wood Elf Monk. And the newcomer to the group, at least character-wise, we have Chris Jørgensener playing Balthazar, the human, maybe, or I think it was spoiled by the interface, the ASMR warlock, but still.
I didn't know that. You spoiled it for me.
Well, it's on this stream.
Well, your character still doesn't
but
know.
I don't know.
All right. That's fine. Well, technically your character was there last time, so you would have seen probably. Who knows? Anyway, no spoilers. Too late. And last but not least, Løkke Spar playing Bethrogar, the angry dwarf barbarian, with an excellent internet connection.
Yes.
I did not hear that because my internet connection was shit.
Exactly. Last time you arrived at the High Forest, a great forest in the center of Faerun, or well, not entirely in the center of Faerun, but sort of like in the center of the Sword Coast area. You were following the vision that Dinok received when he was in the trance ritual on the stony circle thing, when the old crone helped you locate your souls. And in this vision, Dinok, you had seen a dark fortress in the middle of this forest. So you're sort of following that direction. Also, it appeared to be this way that the dragon cult is traveling, so it's kind of like conveniently lines up with your resistance mission.
Nice.
After traveling a bit along the Unicorn's Run in the High Forest, you encountered centaurs that watched you from the riverbanks. And when you approached them, they revealed that they had been displaced by a band of goblins, of all things goblins. Apparently they had been trying to repulse these goblins, reclaim their home, but their best warriors have been bested somehow by these creatures. You offered to look into it and take care of the goblins in exchange of a guide that could show you to this dark fortress in the middle of this forest. And the leader agreed, so you went along with the guide and found the goblins situated on a hill with a weird stone arch at the top. You had to fight your way through a lot of goblins that were easily slain by your magnificent skills. But when you got to the top of the hill, you saw these weird goblins with pointy hats. And they apparently made some kind of ritual that summoned a shambling plant creature, which you fought. And it was an interesting battle. Some of you were dragged into this weird mass. Even Grubberlust was consumed for a moment by this creature, but you managed to prevail. Destroyed all the goblins, found some bones and some blood that might be related to the centaurs, and then you made your way back, found the scout, and are now heading back towards your boats and the other centaurs to report on your success. So the scout has been showing you the way back, and after a few hours you reach the riverbank where your boats are still moored. The corpse of Dagos is still lying on one of the boats, smelling worse and worse by the minute. And you can see all the centaurs sort of like gathered around this place. They look tired, they are sharing food amongst themselves. They look like people who have been on the run for a while, chased out of their homes. And as you enter this sort of like clearing, they all rise up, look in your direction, and the leader of them trots over to you. And it is this point, Dinok, that you kind of recover from your daze, which you have been struck by ever since the ritual on the hill. So everything that has happened has sort of been a blur to you. You don't remember much of it, only flashes of events. And the centaur approaches, looks around at you. I see you are back. And I see you also fought a battle.
Yes.
Is it that obvious?
It is very obvious.
I am covered in plant goo and blood and just...
Very
I
much
don't
so.
see.
Yes, yes. You look like you have been through quite an ordeal. But yet here you
Yes.
are.
I mean, I was swallowed by a plant monster, but other than that, it went well.
Plant monster.
Yes, the goblins seem to have summoned it for some reason. That's the thing that has been causing havoc, apparently. We don't know why they summoned it or if it was even intentional or not. Also, gobbled up some goblins as well, but no matter. Both the goblins and the plant monster is no more.
This monster. This sounds strange. Goblins are not known for their magical prowess. Could this be the thing that destroyed my warriors? Do you deem it was strong enough to do such a thing?
Could be. I don't know how
Possible.
strong your warriors are, but
Oh,
could be.
they were very strong. Swift as the wind amongst the trees. Very keen with arrows. Very deadly with their blades.
Well, in that case, I suppose it's more probable for it to have been it than the goblins. So,
The full extent of your success. You defeated this monster. Did you defeat the source of it? What about the goblins? What is the situation in our home?
the
What?
goblins are no longer in your home. Half of them are dead, half of them are scattered.
Well, I suppose that is the best we can hope for. He looks around. I need 3 brave souls to go back and check out the place. And something like salute him. Bring out some weapons from storage, and then they start to into the forest, down the trail that you just arrived from. Well, I guess you have upheld your end of the bargain, and as promised, I will grant you one of my best scouts to lead you to this fortress. And he looks at you, Dinok. You were the one who described this fortress to us.
Yes.
A dark fortress in the middle of the forest.
It seems to be the holdout of some fey creatures.
Fey?
Yes, it seems to be a small court
A
of
court?
sorts.
That is strange news to me. We know of one dark fortress in this forest. You can only mean the fortress of Karse. But I do not know anything about Fey living there.
Can I make a check to recall some more describing factors about the fort?
Well, you don't need to. So the way you were transported there in the vision, you were sort of like hovering above the branches as if you were like almost the wind yourself, just rushing through the top of the trees. And when you got to the fortress, you saw that it was built on a reddish rock, sort of like jutting up from the forest. The walls ringing the entire citadel, looking old, crumbled, but still intact enough to pose like to still function as a fortress if it were to be occupied once more. Inside, it was also very overgrown with trees and shrubberies and stuff, just making their way through the cobblestones all over the place. And it was in a basement when you flew through some of the old corridors that you found this place where strange mushrooms, strange plants grew down here in the dark where you wouldn't normally expect flowers to grow, or trees. These trees that seem to grow so close together, but they had roots instead of branches above and roots below. So it's kind of like inverse trees in a weird way. And it was between these tree trunks that you passed, and when you did so, you came to this gigantic underground hall full of golden lamps and all these strange people. And in the center of it all, there was this throne-like mound, on top of which an elf with bluish hair and an intense, powerful aura was sitting, clearly the centerpiece of the whole court.
That was a long one.
It all just came back to you.
You take a D4
It's like,
mental
are
damage.
you all right? You see
Yes.
vacant.
The fortress of which you speak, does it happen to rest upon a red rock jutting out from the forest?
Indeed it does.
Then that is where we must go.
I will of course uphold my end of the bargain, but I wish to ask you why you wish to go there, because it is not a pleasant place. It is a place that everyone who values their safety should avoid at any cost.
It is
It's
a
dark
matter.
place.
It is a matter of freeing me and our dead fellow's soul.
That sounds like a noble enough cause.
Now that he's dead, it would be nice to know that his soul has passed on.
Indeed, I understand. I understand perfectly. Well, I will find the best scout for you, someone who has been to the fortress, or at least close to it. You will find that it is not easy to approach. If you wish to rest, we will stay here for the night and make camp. You are, of course, more than welcome to partake at our bonfire.
That would be lovely.
Very well. It looks like you could use a rest, all of you.
Yeah.
Indeed, I could. I think that my arm is broken and my ribs and my leg and a lot of me is broken right now.
Yes,
I could
it is said that a good night's rest can heal any broken bone.
Indeed. It is curious how it works like this. I mean, one would expect that it would take months and months or even years to get back on my feet after these kinds of injuries, but I suppose one night's rest will do.
Well, we do have healers in our camp.
Ah,
Maybe they can see to some of your injuries.
yeah, that makes sense.
I shall arrange it. And he sort of turns around. This is why we make camp for the night. Make all preparations. Set out scouts, set out guards, make it all happen. And the centaurs start to move around. Some of them start to pile firewood in a center space and start making a fire. Some of them start pitching large tents and all that kind of stuff. Sort of like just getting settled for the night, packing out food and that kind of stuff. The centaur leader sort of goes around, speaks with some of them, and then at some point you're approached by a young centaur with a long golden hair that just flows down its back. It looks like, I've been charged with being the one to take you to the fortress.
All right.
Nice.
My name is the Helen Bar.
The Helen Bar.
I've carried that name for many years with much pride.
How,
I am at your service until our end of the bargain has been upheld. Whenever you wish to leave, I will be ready.
Good.
Good to know.
How long do you reckon it'll take to get there?
It's a long way. We will travel for many days.
Alright.
The forest is deep. The shadows are dark. It also depends how we want to travel. If we want to be careful, it'll take longer. If we want to be quick and more, how do you say, dangerous, we can do it in a few days.
Alright. We'll discuss that. Get back to you.
Yeah.
Excellent. I will be with my friends until you need me.
Alright.
Thank you. And he turns around. And then trots away.
Good horsey.
I turn over to Dinok. So, are you properly awake now? You seem to be sort of gone.
I think so. Who are you?
Alright, you have been gone.
It seems like every time Dinok wakes up, then Bright Scratch brain turns into mush. I point at Bright Scratch, who's just probably just standing there and doesn't seem to be all there.
She's just like staring into a bonfire and flames with a 1,000-yard stare.
I'm Balthasar. I owe Gurbalush a favor, and
It's good to see you awake, Dinok. I can vouch for this man. And he like puts a heavy hand on Balthasar's shoulder.
That is reassuring to know.
We fought together when we were escaping the dungeon. He knows how to fight.
I was told that now that your friend is gone, that you're the leader of the group. It'll be good to have one.
Damn, this can be good.
What?
Well, then I would like to ask you what kind of approach would you think probable to take? Should we get to the fortress as fast as possible? We don't know how much, if it's a permanent resident of the hag carrying me on our undead friend's soul.
True.
We don't know if she's there for a long time.
I mean, it comes with a risk. We saw some large footprints that could be draconic. Not too far away. But from what I've heard, you've dealt with that before.
Yes.
We went through Daggerford to get here, to you.
Yeah. I am pretty sure we can deal with that.
Alright.
If it happens to come to that.
I do not consider myself a part of this party. I simply owe a favor, so I will follow whatever you
That
choose
is
to do.
completely fine. What do you think, Bothroka?
I'm not sure what I think because the audio keeps cutting out. Could you repeat the question?
Should we go fast and risky, or slow and slightly more secure on our way to the fortress?
Well, I tend to be quite brisk with everything, but I've learned from past experience that hasn't quite turned out well for me in the past. So if we just go slow and steady, I think that would be best, probably.
Can I make a check to see if it looked like they were preparing to move out of the fortress in the vision? Or do I...
Sure. You make you think back at what you saw. Make an insight check to see if you can glean anything from that memory.
17?
17. You think that what you saw in that hall were people who were complacent, who could almost say at home. These were people who were having a good time, some kind of party maybe. You didn't get any sense of like moving out per se, any kind of warlike gathering, if that's what you are thinking. It's just they were just like there having a good time. Friday night, almost like.
Well, we could hope for the best that they won't move away from the fortress and then take it slow and steady.
Also, just to get a sense of it, so when you were there, this court, it was like so large that the ends of them sort of like disappeared in a haze. There were hundreds, maybe thousands of creatures in that hall, just at tables in all directions, partying hard, some of them partying less hard, other.
Oh. Okay.
Like with servants carrying platters of all kinds of food. You got a few glimpses. Some of it looks like some kind of bread. Others roasts of meat you couldn't clearly recognize. Vegetables, mushrooms, that kind of stuff.
By the way, guys, if things go as badly as possible, we might not make it out of there. There are a lot of creatures in there.
How many?
I couldn't count how many.
Alright, that's a good sign. Well.
Some of the sensors have like dogs.
Oh yeah.
All the sensor looks up. Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, let me get back to work.
Well, I suppose we'll see.
Jeg har bare lyst til like, if my vote counts for anything, then I would say, let's just go for it. The more time we waste, the more time they get to prepare.
I'm also prepared to take the fast route.
Yeah.
What I have
If
to lose.
everyone else is prepared to do it, then I'll agree to it.
Alright. Oh, I should probably cast Disguise Self, just to not freak anyone out at closer inspection. So I'll just make me look like myself, but with normal colored eyes, and without the black veins I slightly have going from my eyes.
Oh.
Funny that you didn't comment on that, Dean. I just gotten used to him looking like that. But he does look quite strange.
Yeah, not everyone likes it.
What is strange in this world anyway?
True.
This party.
Like, I cut off my own hand and sold my soul to a hag, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And you
so,
still carry your own head and hand.
We've all been there.
yeah, we will. We've all been. Okay.
All right. So
Shall we get going?
Shouldn't we rest first?
Probably.
Yeah, we can head out in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's
If
do
we
But
it.
then we'll
travel
go
fast.
fast then. Yes.
all right. So you settle down, unroll your bed rolls and all that stuff, and the centaurs offer you various fruits from the forest.
Yes.
many of them you know, you've tasted them before, but well, Balthazar, because of your sort of like time travel stuff, this isn't so new to you, but the Throgar, it's been almost 40 years since you had this much variety of fruits. The food in Waterdeep gets pretty uninspiring under the dragon's reign. So this is like, oh, I almost forgotten how peaches taste, something like that.
Oh. I almost start to cry.
Oh.
And then some of the healers come over to you and they have some pulse juices and stuff. Yeah, you must drink this. This will make you better. Yes, like pushes it on you.
Nice.
I think I'm just gonna sit down and keep watch and pretty much just little reading in my book all night, basically.
Mm. And as you sort of like sit down to read, you don't need to sleep.
No.
So you hear the voice in your head, sort of like almost as if it's like poking over your shoulder. You got yourself into quite some trouble here, didn't you?
I suppose that's yet to be seen.
Yes. But I feel that you're on the right path. It's better than sitting in a dungeon.
For once we do agree.
What are you reading?
You know, the book I always read. I know you've had some dislike to it. It's my book of spells from my old patron.
Yes. Well, at some point you're going to have to leave that behind.
Yeah, well. While I don't use it as much, it could prove useful. You know I don't want to attract his attention.
No, of course not. Even though you're doing exactly what would attract him. Just saying.
I put down the book.
Alright, are the rest of you doing anything in particular? Otherwise we will move
Just
on to the...
meditating.
So you're doing your meditation and then you're doing your elven trance instead of sleeping. And during your trance you get visions of this spirit journey, so you revisit almost the fortress in your vision as you saw it during the old crone's ritual. And you revisit this courtroom, so you sort of like get a refreshment of your memories. Yeah. So the next morning you wake up, the centaurs are already moving about, gathering back their stuff. The scouts have returned apparently during the night, and it appears they are going to move back to the hill and try to see if they can resettle the place, or at least gather some of the heirlooms and possessions that may remain. And the centaur that was appointed to you walks up to you, carrying a bow on his back, sword at his side, a rudimentary leather armor, a bag with rations, and all that kind of stuff. Are you ready? Have you decided on our approach?
We will take the fast route.
Excellent. Well, of course, I'll be much faster than any of you, and I can't carry all of you, so...
How fast do you run? Just as a...
That's a good question. You know, sometimes it's important to remember that creatures can run at various speeds. And oh, what is that book you were reading yesterday? It looked very blah 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 blah. I'd say I could run almost twice as fast as the dwarf. So I suppose that you should set the pace, but I had to guide you. We'll do our best. You keep up. If you can't keep up, then you just have to shout out. I think that's the best solution.
Alright.
Have you packed your stuff? Are you ready?
We have packed our stuff.
Excellent.
Wait, Do we have we brought our wagon, or did we leave that behind? We left that behind, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to leave it in Daggerford.
Oh yeah.
Or you had to leave it.
Let us move out then.
Very well. So the centaur takes you out on just right into the wild. But you do notice that at some point, after a few minutes, you hit some kind of animal trail. It's not a path in any way, but it is like an easier route through the forest. And you can see the centaur is following this one, taking you east. Being an elf, Enoch, you get a weird sense in this forest. I mean, you've been in forests before. You like forest. I mean, you are a wood elf, but this forest is like just all the best stuff from forest turned to 11. Like the trees are so ancient you can almost read the entire history of the world in them. The rushing of wind through the leaves tell you stories and bring back memories from all your travels. This is such a place you could easily get lost in these woods and just...
Almost like I'm high in the forest.
Maybe. It is very pleasant. This is... You've probably never been in the high forest, but this feels like some kind of ancient home already. Where the rest of the group looks... You can at least see Grubelust looking at the trees, looking at the shadows amongst all the leaves, with like apprehension, always his hand close to his weapons. You feel no threat from all this stuff.
Aww. Happy.
You travel for a few days. Nothing super exciting happened. The centaur shows the way, points out some of the foods you can pick on the way. You eat some of your rations, that kind of stuff. At the third day traveling, you encounter what can only be described as claw marks in the trees in front of you. You get to a minor clearing, and the centaur just stops dead. And when you like bunch up around him, you can see all the trees along the edges of this clearing have been carved. Deep gouges made from huge claws, if it was indeed claws that did this. You can see various footprints in the dirt, trampled grass, all that kind of stuff. And you can hear a whimpering sound coming from somewhere in the grass.
Can I roll perception to see where in the grass?
Sure.
13.
13. It's pretty easy to locate. It's sort of like in the middle of the clearing, close to a big rock. You can't see the source. The grass is maybe like 3 or 4 feet tall in here. And it sounds sort of like...
Oh no.
I can check out what it is. Slowly.
Police holds a hand up too. Be careful.
I will. I would like to begin sneaking in the grass. I don't know if you get Mask of the Wild. Like hide if lightly obscured by natural phenomena.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to hide in.
And I would like to
This whole
sneak.
forest is basically just one huge hiding spot for you.
Okay, I would like to sneak closer to the sound until I can see what it is.
Alright, make a stealth check as you
Oh.
approach.
Lovely. That is 24.
24. So you get down amongst the grass and you just start moving with the grass as the wind sweeps through, matching the movement of the individual blades of grass, and you just blend in and make your way through the undergrowth. As you approach the rock, you can hear the whimpering grows louder. And then you part a few of the grass blades and look down on a creature that is leaning against the base of the rock. And, well, we'll see if you know it. It looks like it's sort of the size of a goblin, but it has like a long snout and it is covered with scales. It looks a bit draconic in nature, but not quite. And all its scales have a flaking layer of green paint on it, even though the scales underneath are sort of like brown reddish. It's wearing a dirty leather tunic. You can see there's a back that's been split open, and it looks like acorns, various nuts are spilling out on the ground. And there's a shitty rusty sword lying on the ground close to it. And then its stomach is covered in blood. And there's blood on the rock behind it. And you can see there's a huge gash across the middle section of its tunic.
Do you see anything over there?
I would like to ask it in Draconic if he's hurt. Are you hurt, little friend?
He sort of jump and suddenly looks around, trying to see where the source of the voice comes from, and then yes, look, ow, stay away! And he reaches for his sword, but it's sort of like as he grabs for it, it starts sliding down the side of the rock and out of his reach.
I walk up and see what's up.
It's okay, guys. It seems to be a small. Do I know what it is?
Well, have you ever encountered kobolds before?
I don't think we have in this.
Well, you're an elf, so you might have. Well, you might have heard of.
Oh, yeah. I'm 60 years and I'm a monk. Maybe I know what a kobold is.
And
we can roll a check.
Well, make a nature check.
Yeah, okay, I know it.
But of course, Balthazar knows exactly what a kobold is from his previous experience.
21. Oh no, sorry, 20.
You also know it.
Yeah.
And as you also sort of gather around, sort of like pushes itself against the rock, trying to get as far away from you as possible, but it's also like hurting from the wound in the stomach. It's like, it's just misery.
Can I make I'll just tell that I would like to try and clean its wounds and help it recover.
All right. As you approach it, it lashes out at you with a clawed hand. What's your armor class?
16.
Right. So it tries, but it's a weak blow, and you easily dodge it.
Okay.
It's speaking Draconic, so I don't know who of you understands Draconic except for.
I don't.
Well, Gurbalust understands, and he's sort of like translating for you. He said, "Get away, you filthy elf! No offense, Dino."
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll have to do this another way.
Do we kill it or help it?
I would like to poke at some place where I know there's a nerve ending because I've been dissecting quite a few of these earlier.
All right. You poke it like.
And I would like to use Stunning Strike with that.
All right. I guess it has to make a
attack roll. I don't hit the first time, and I would like to poke it again.
All right, so you try, but it just sort of like rolls away.
Okay, I rolled the exact same. I would like to do again because now I have to be attacked.
Stay away, you filthy elf!
How is it possible to roll a 2 3 times in a row?
Just like, and then he grabs your stick and just throws it away. If you were using a stick.
I was just poking.
Alright, he grabs your finger and pushes you over.
feisty little one.
Do you think it's worth helping him?
Maybe. Should we help him? We could also just like continue onwards.
It's up to you.
Mm.
I can
now that
help
he-
him if you hold him, but
He's seen us now, so if we just decide to keep going, we would probably have to like off him in some way.
yes. You can make the decision. We can help him, we can kill him.
Let's try and help him.
Alright.
I feel sorry for the poor guy.
Can you hold his arm so he doesn't hit me?
Yes, I would like to try and grapple him.
Oh, make an attack roll.
I don't succeed, but I would like to make another attempt with my extra attack. I really like that extra attack.
Alright.
Oh, okay, this is a little better. 19.
Alright, so you just like struggling with the kobold, it's like, and finally you manage to like get a bit around his arms and pin him. As you do that, a fresh wave of blood just rushes down over his abdomen.
I put my hand on him and use cure wounds.
Oh,
Let's see. Wait, cure wounds, what's the D8? He regains 26 hit points.
Alright.
Whoa.
The wound closes in this golden glow from your hands, and the kobold looks down, looks at you. It says in Draconic, so I don't know if you understand it.
Nope.
Why you help?
Yes, why we're helping.
Well,
We feel sorry for you.
What is sorry? Why have you done this?
We didn't want you to die. Simple as that. Don't think too much about it.
Oh, I'm gonna die anyway. I can't go home. I'm a disgrace. You'll pay for this, filthy elf, filthy human, filthy dwarf. Spits towards Grubbelucht. False dragon man.
Did you want to die?
I'm already dead. I betrayed my master.
Who's your master?
It's like it comes like a hush over him. A master, the great, the green, and the Hamadaha,
And Hamadaha.
and the Hamadaha, the green, the flying one. His breath is so poisonous it can kill a man.
Does he live here?
This is his forest. You are trespassing in this forest. He tries to wriggle in your grasp. He's going to find you all and you will die. First you'll choke on his poisonous breath, and then he will eat your flesh.
Will he find us, no matter where we go in this forest?
This is his forest. He knows everything that goes on in this forest.
Will he
Maybe
try
he's
to hurt
already
us?
watching you. Sorry.
Okay, guys, he is telling us that this master, this green one, flying one, perhaps a dragon, rules this forest, and that he will hunt us down and kill us.
well,
Oh,
Should we lure him here now, or
I mean, we've been here for a while, right? He hasn't come yet.
yeah, he hasn't come yet.
Maybe ask this guy what happened here. Exactly, with all the marks and everything.
Little guy, what happened here since all the trees have been shredded?
It's my fault. I angered my master. I was not respectful. And he was angry. He ruined the trees and then he ruined me.
That seems very mean of a master to do to his subject.
He is wise and he's cruel and he's powerful. He always does the right thing.
Would you follow someone else if they prove to be stronger than your master?
He just spits at you. There's no such thing.
What if we prove that to you?
The great green one is supreme in this forest. His breath will choke you. It will melt the flesh off your bones, and it will play with them. And then we get to play with your tiny bones from your hands.
We?
All of us.
How many of you are there?
Many.
He says there's a lot of these small pricks. He's getting a bit annoying now.
Yeah. They
Should
tend
we
to be
off him?
impacts. Sure.
It just seems like such a waste.
Of a life.
No, I mean, you probably use some energy on healing him and stuff. It would be a waste. It's just.
Well, it's fine.
If you want me to, I can take you to him. Then you
Yeah.
can prove you are more powerful.
He offers to take us to him.
To his master.
Yeah. I mean, it would be quite bad to run into this master without being prepared.
Yeah.
Silversword, hang on a second. Are you proposing to seek out a dragon? It's madness.
I suppose it depends
Well,
on how.
we've killed 2 before.
Yeah, well, I suppose it depends on how old and large
Okay.
this dragon is.
Can we investigate the footprints and the claw marks
Sure.
to estimate his size?
Yeah. Investigation checks. If you want to go full CSI on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Enhance.
17.
17.
Nope, 4. I have no idea.
Oh. You just sort of like walking around looking at the trees, the claw marks. Oh,
I haven't
claw
actually
marks.
seen a live dragon for a while.
I mean, the last dragon you probably saw was Caractix in his younger days.
Very young years.
Calcris has grown large now. Fuck. We should have killed him when we had the chance.
So you did 17. Bathroga, are you also
4.
4?
Yeah,
Alright.
4.
So Balthazar and Bathroga are just sort of like walking around, kicking rocks. But Dinoc, you go into full CSI mode and you like investigate and take out like a small measuring sticks. And, yes. And so judging from the depth of the footprints in the ground that seem to belong to this dragon, judging from the nature of the print, you think it's a pretty big one. It's certainly not a wormling.
Okay. Well, he seems pretty big.
Think the claws. You had a close encounter with Calcrix during your escape, and the claw marks on the trees. Of course, it's a long time ago in Waterdeep, but you think these claw marks are larger than the ones that would have been made if it had been Calcrix.
Yeah.
This could be dangerous. Even more reason not to be surprised.
Well,
It's kind of the
we did
bad
take
either
the
way.
we did do the dangerous route.
Yeah.
This is it.
Sure. I feel
it's all-
ready to die.
I was instructed to bring you to the Dark Fortress, and that is dangerous enough as it is. I was not told to accompany you to a dragon's lair.
How many days travel do we have left, would you reckon?
If we continue at this pace, we should be at the outskirts of the Dire Wood in 2 days.
I
I mean, if our guide refuses to continue to escort us and we can't find the Dark Fortress, then this entire mission would have been pointless.
If you are very keen to do it, I can always wait here for your return. And if you do not return within a few days, I will assume that you have met your demise.
Seems reasonable. Yeah, if she is willing to wait, then I assume that we could go see if we could take this dragon down.
I'm not keen to wait. If I may stress that. Staying out here is dangerous enough as it is.
No, but if you're willing,
I am willing.
and we'll try to be fast about it. You don't have to wait here. We'll kill it fast.
We could drive by.
Drive by dragon killing.
Hey, dragon!
I don't know. A dragon this size is quite a force.
I must say, I saw the dragons that you killed in Daggerford, and I'm a bit ashamed that I was not there to help you with. Title of Dragon Slayer would be nice to add to your name. Accomplished Dragon Slayer.
So are you suggesting that you want to kill this dragon?
Well, if you want to, then I'm with you. I'm not afraid to fight a few dragons.
Let's go dragon slaying. We could certainly use the combat experience for the time that we might need to face Calcrix again.
The experience.
Wait, I have 2 health potions in my inventory. Yes, this is the perfect time.
That's all.
I just remembered.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Well,
Oh, I only have 2.
I suppose then.
Like we can grab this guy, and when he leads us to the dragon, I can hit him a bit so he's almost dead, and then I can take his essence when he dies as a sort of mini health potion.
Interesting.
Is that too mean?
I don't have any love for kobolds.
I don't care.
Just get a flashback to Meepo falling into the pit. Just looking hurt and betrayed. And
A single tear drops from my eye.
A black tear.
Oh god.
Take us to your master. Show us where he is.
Yes, follow me. And he gets to his feet, a bit surprised that there's no pain. Picks up his sword, puts it on his back, picks up his bag, and all the rest of the nuts fall out. He's like, and starts picking them up, shoving some of them into his pockets, and then the rest he just like stuffs into his mouth. And he starts walking to the forest.
Suppose we follow. As always, I'll stay back.
I'll wait here for 2 days. If you're not returned by then may all the blessings of the forest go with you.
Thank you.
Right, so you follow this little creature. Good. So he leads you into the forest, and there are no animal paths here. He's just like walking over fallen tree trunks, through webs of moss, through actual huge spider webs. Like picks out a huge spider, eats it. leading you through the forest. And you can see you are approaching. Every time some of the trees of like part way a bit, you can see through the leaves. There's like a hill in the distance where the trees, the top of the trees sort of like rise up. You can't see the hill, but you can see that the trees rise above it. And it's as if the ground dips deeper and deeper, as if you're walking into a large valley that is completely obscured by the forest. At some point, a small brook starts to run next to you, and you follow this winding brook down and down and down into the valley. And it gets dark and dark as the trees rise further and further up around you, the foliage covering more and more of the sunlight. And it begins to getting close to the evening, so what sunlight is left is almost completely blotted out. And then you hear sounds in front of you in the dark undergrowth, like feet moving about. And the kobold shouts out, "I approach! It is me! Daku!" And out of the bushes, more of these kobolds with their green paint on their scales come out with spears and their bows. And they look first at the kobold, then at the rest. "Why have you come back? You disrespected the master!" And he's like, "I bring tribute to the master!" And he indicates dramatically, you guys.
Oh god.
"They wish to see and the Hamadaha!" And the kobold, "Tribute. Well, I suppose the master will decide your fate then." "Yes, he will, not you." "Very well." They part way. So you can approach, and the kobold, "Follow me." And he moves further down into the valley, and you can see all the other kobolds sort of like gather around you and follow you at a distance. And more kobolds join in as you move further and further down into the valley, following the brook. It is almost completely dark, but down here there are a few torches and campfires here and there lighting up. You can see around the campfires, kobolds are sitting, warming their hands, sharpening weapons, and they all look up, their eyes of like reflecting what light there's down here as you move between them. And then the ground starts to level out, the brook turns aside and spills into a large wide pool. The air down here is heavy with damp, and it's just moist and warm. And it's as if these trees are sort of growing over, forming a natural cave. And the kobold stops and then indicates for you to step into the middle of this cleared area, where you can see all the kobolds are lining up around the edges. Some of them holding torches, some of them just pointing at you, conversing with each other, and there's this loud all the way around you. Go forward if you want to meet the master.
Let us go onwards.
Too late to back down.
You step forward. And,
Should we back down?
I think it's too late for that. To be honest, we're in the middle of a kobold encampment. We made the decision.
What are you waiting for? Step forward. Don't let the master wait. It's disrespectful.
Well,
Let us do it. Can I try to sneak forward?
Well, there's sort of like a bit of grass growing here, a bit of undergrowth, so you could try to use your elven stuff to blend in if you want to try. The rest of you, without that racial trait, you have no chance of hiding out here in the open.
I would like to try.
All right.
24.
24. All right. So you step forward, and again you're surrounded by this ring of kobolds that stands among the trees in this pretty wide, cleared area, kind of the size of the throne room in Waterdeep when you met Calcrix. And at the end of it, there's just this impenetrable darkness, as it just like it's completely covered with the trees here, and the setting sun casts so little light down here that you can't see what is going on at the end of this natural cave. And then the kobold walks forward in front of you, spreads out his arms. Master, I bring a tribute as repayment for my disrespect. And he bows deeply. All of you make perception checks.
Oh.
23.
23.
19, I believe. No, actually, unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. The Throger?
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Alright.
Very
The
perceptive.
Throger and Balthazar, you don't see anything. It's just
Okay,
this
not very
wall of
perceptive.
darkness in front of you.
Oh god.
But Dina, you do see something. For a moment, you sort of like look around from you're sort of like crouching in the grass, trying to blend in awkwardly, trying to hide in plain sight. You notice that there are 2 golden points of light, or sort of like reflected light, in the middle of this darkness, and it is maybe like 15 feet above ground. Then one clawed foot with green scales reaches out of the darkness and plants itself on the ground, and it's about the size of a decent wagon. And then another one, and out of the shadow heaves this large creature, a dragon, a large, like a spine running down the length of its back from the top of its head, with the skin stretched out like a membrane between them. And the head is about 15 feet off the ground, looking down at you as it lumbers out. What a fine tribute you have brought to me. I'm inclined to forgive you for your transgression. It's speaking Draconic, so only, I guess, Dinok and Grubbalust understands. Grubbalust is sort of like quietly translating. He says, blah, 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 blah. Step closer. And the kobold steps closer. Fine tribute, fine tribute. That remains to be seen. And he takes one clawed foot and just lifts it up and puts it on top of the kobold. Not crushing it, but just squeezing it, pinning it to the ground, out of view. And then it switches to common as it looks at you. What brings you to my forest? Have you no tongue?
We're looking for a friend.
Maybe you found one. And there's this deep rumble from its chest, maybe laughter. And all the kobolds around you sort of points at you and sort of like claps. Good one! Yeah! Woo! Silence! Woo!
I was more referring to a particular friend. Someone who is around here. Against
someone from the cult, I imagine. And looks up and down you, wearing the dragon cultist armor. Red.
Yes.
Are you from Eldergard?
Yes.
Before I kill you, I want to learn something from you. What is the purpose of your business at the fortress? Why are you gathering strength in the old bones of Kaze?
Well, that would be that friend that I was referring to. There's a soul in there that we are interested in. The inhabitants in there has it.
You speak strangely. I'm not entirely sure I understand you. When you refer to a soul, do you mean literal soul? Or just a person?
Literal soul.
That's strange.
Yes.
But you didn't answer my question. What's with the build-up of forces in my forest?
We're not trying to offend you. We wanted to pass through without having to kill any of you, meet any of you. We're just trying to get through. It's in the forest.
Get to the forest. Get to the fortress.
Yes.
Well, I have seen many of your kind traveling through the forest. And I'm not too pleased with what you are doing there. So I'm not very much inclined to let you through.
What do you mean by what people are doing there exactly?
Your kind are building something. Gathering for something. And I think I know what you're up to.
What is that?
You are planning my demise, am I right?
Well,
I'm surprised that you were so bold to seek me out on your own.
if you mean the people at the fortress and kind building something against you, then we have no business with the people in the fortress other than trying to get the souls back. Not exactly been in contact with them ever, so if they're planning your demise, we're not part of anything in this forest for that matter.
You must excuse me if I find that unbelievable.
I would like to exit myself and step forward.
Looks down. An elf.
Well met, fine dragon. There seems to be a slight misunderstanding. We might be wearing dragon cultist robes, but we are only infiltrating them. We were tracking a large force of dragon cultists on their way to the high forest. And on the way, we fell victim to a hag who took our souls, or at least my soul. And that's why we're...
check.
$25.
A stolen uniform. Looks around. Looks up into the trees for a moment. So you're not affiliated with the cult?
We are affiliated with them, but in the worst way possible. We are, if we could, we are trying to disband the cult.
He smiles, revealing rows of sharp teeth. And all the kobolds around him sort of like smile, but nervously. One of them sort of looks at you, Dina, just like... Hmm. In that case, maybe we can be friends. He slowly lifts his claw, and the kobold that escorted you is like, gets up, and then he like just bashes him away. Boom. You're forgiven. If you're going to the fortress, if you have goals in there, then we might not be enemies this day.
It would be preferable not to be enemies with such a clearly a dragon with a lot of years on his mind.
I suppose that was meant as a compliment.
Entirely.
Can I ask a question?
Please do.
You seem to have some history with the people in the fortress. What is that exactly? Why are you enemies? Just curious.
The cult is not very kind to people who value their own fortunes over that of the cult.
True.
So let's just say we parted ways. I've long expected that they would make a strike against me when they found me. I assume that's what they're doing in the old fortress. There have been patrols, caravans, gathering in the place, gathering strength.
Well, no enemy of the cult is an enemy of ours. We might indeed be friends.
What do you intend to do at the old fortress?
First and foremost, to recover the souls of me and our friend. But if there would happen to be other goals in the fortress that we might as well achieve on the way, then I don't see why that would be a bad idea to do.
I would advise you to destroy as many of them as you can on your way in. That will satisfy my purpose.
That can certainly be arranged.
So if that is truly your purpose, then I will let you go on your way. And if indeed you do go to the fortress and cause my enemies harm, then I will consider us maybe not friends. But at least not enemies. You will be able to go about my forest as you please.
It would certainly be nice to have the freedom to move. And this, I don't know if this might be of interest, but as far as we know, only the elite, only highly trained cultist members have been allowed on missions up here. At least the force that we were following. So it seems like it's an important thing they're gathering stuff for.
As I said, I suspect you were planning a strike against me. If you can confirm this, of course. That information might be of value to me.
Well, we are working as information gatherers after all, so we'll try.
Very well. Then be on your way.
As you wish.
I found out that you did not go there. My retribution will be swift.
Seems fair.
He slowly drags himself back into the shadows until his entire form is obscured by the shadows, so you only see the two golden lights. Be gone.
As you wish. Bow, walk back 2 steps, and then turn around and leave.
I just turn around and leave.
All the kobolds are like looking around. No one moves
I
to...
make a tiny knot.
And it's even smaller because you're a dwarf as well. So yeah, you do that and turn around and you start leaving, and none of the kobolds do anything to oppose you or anything. Just like look at you. As you can hear whispers in Draconic, Dino. Friends of the master. No, not friends, not enemies. It's not the same. I don't know what it means.
What does it mean?
So do you ask them?
What it means?
Mm-hmm.
No.
All right.
I could ask them what the double rainbow means. No. That would just confuse them.
Probably. So you make your way back, climb out of this deep valley, and it's night by now. The stars are above you, so it doesn't get any lighter as you make your way out. Assuming you want to go back to the centaur.
Yeah.
Make survival checks to see if you can find your way.
Oh yeah, I'm proficient in survival. Yay! Finally, I can use it. Oh, yeah.
11,
13.
13,
That is 23.
33. All right. So Dinok and Balthazar are a bit. Was it this way? Bethroy, you just. Here's our previous footsteps, and you can see all the broken branches, and so you just lead them straight back.
Finally, I can use my survival proficiency.
So at the past midnight or something like that, you emerge back into the clearing where you found the kobold. And as you do so, Grablis just fine job, Bathrogar. You are quite the pathfinder in these forests. You more or less think that you were raised in these forests. Of course you weren't. You're a dwarf.
True.
And out of the shadows of the trees nearby emerges the centaur. Looks over you. You're back already.
Indeed.
That is a good fortune. Did you find what you sought?
We found the dragon, however. We've also made an acquaintance, let's call it that.
How so? It doesn't appear that you've been in combat.
No. Apparently this dragon is very old and wise. And it's a green dragon. And he's
the rumors are true.
It is true that it was a very large dragon.
Did you just still standing?
We did not enter combat. We found out that he has had a fallen out with the cult. So so far we are in his good favors, or at least not in his bad favors. So we agreed to running some errands for him.
If you want my advice, I would say count yourself lucky that you survived the ordeal and just avoid him. You can't trust these dragons.
Well,
they spin webs of lies, serving their own purpose, always.
Well, he did say that if we did not go to the fortress, his retribution would be swift. So I suggest we get a move on and get to the fortress.
Well, it is dark and late in the night.
He said that we had free reign in the forest, and I think he kind of owns this fortress. Hopefully,
he owns the fortress.
The forest. Sorry, the forest.
I highly doubt that. No one creature can lay claim to the high forest. That is hubris.
Well, he is a very large creature, so I'll just take his word for it. And
Well, if we have a dragon at our backs, then I suppose we can move swiftly through the night.
I suggest we do that.
We stumble from... Don't we all?
Well, just asking.
We can press on through the night if you wish. But I think it would be advisable if we enter the direwolf with our full strength.
The direwolf?
The direwood, sorry.
The direwood?
Can't disagree there.
You will see why we call it that in a few days.
Well, let us take a rest before we enter the direwood.
I'll keep watch.
Very good. Good night. And he lies down and starts sleeping. Alright, so you make a long rest. Not that it matters stat-wise, but in the morning you continue your journey. You travel for an entire day, and you notice that the forest is getting even more quiet the further you go this day. And when you camp at night, I suppose, Balthazar is standing watch once more because you are no need to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it kind of freaks me out sometimes when you just sit there all the time reading that book.
Well, me too, kinda. But I am. If I could sleep, I would. But that gift was taken from me.
I can't imagine how that must be. And then he goes to sleep as well. So throughout the night, you don't encounter anything, but you just get a sense of something watching you, something being aware of you.
Can I make a perception?
I wonder what that is.
Well, you can. So everyone who is awake at night get this weird feeling, and you can act upon it if you want to. Sorry, what did you say, Luke?
It's just, I guess, what I think it's the dragon. A little bit, maybe.
Who knows?
Well,
I'll
I'll look
Dragon.
around to see if I can see anything.
All right. Make a perception check.
If I'm awake at that time, since I'm only meditating for like half of the time, I would also like to make a perception check.
All right.
That's actually good. That is 21.
21.
23.
All right.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You search the surrounding area closely. You go amongst the trees in the outskirts of your camp. Presumably you haven't lit a campfire.
I don't assume so.
You look around. You think you are doing a really good job at listening, smelling, looking, but you don't find anything. But you never lose this feeling of being watched.
I assume I would know that feeling.
Big Brother's watching.
We're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
We're in a reality show.
When people are watching, how many?
How many?
I just sit back down and continue keeping a lookout until the morning.
Alright. So dawn breaks without anything happening. Towards the early hour of dawn, like in the wolf hour of the grey dawn, this feeling of being watched slowly abates, but never quite leaves. And Bethroga, when you get up, you also get this sense, like that thing where you, like, out of the corner of your eye, someone might be watching you, and you don't really see it, but you just feel it. But you look around, but there's nothing. And there's just this.
General, like,
this light mist amongst the trees. You set out for the day's journey, and you can see that the centaur is pretty subdued this day. Usually he has like comments on various stuff. These are very tasty. Points out some berries and stuff. None of that today. He's just watching. And around midday, you see something among the trees that stand out from the rest of them. It is another tree, but this one is pale white. It's like an oak, but the bark has been drained of its brown colors until it's almost like bone white. What leaves are on the branches are also pale white. It's almost as if some artist has made out the outlines but not filled in with the colors yet. And the centaur whispers. And here we are. The direwood.
What can we expect in this place? Except for the fortress, of course. Any creatures?
My people don't come here very often. It's not a nice place, as you can see. So, if we can trust the rumors, then we can expect all kinds of madness. But it might just be embellishment. Truth be told, I cannot tell.
Suppose we'll find out.
Just know that the high forest is alive. It's a living, breathing thing. It's a thinking thing. And this place is part of the forest, even though it is cursed. But it is twisted.
How far would you say there is until the fortress?
If we're not obstructed, then we should be at the fortress before evening.
Then I suggest we press onward.
Very well.
It would be bad to get caught in the middle of the night in this part of the woods.
My elder did not specify my task. But would you be satisfied if I lead you within eyesight of the fortress, but no further?
Do you know how to get in?
I do not.
Then I
As I
guess
said, my people do not travel these parts if we don't have to.
Then in that case, that would be sufficient, I guess.
Very good. Let us move on. You continue, and as you pass by this white oak, you notice there's another white oak in the distance on your left, and another one in distance on your right, almost as if it's making like some kind of barrier. And beyond these trees, there's still green trees, there's still green bushes and all that stuff, but amongst them, some of the trees are black and petrified. They appear to be made of some sort of black rock.
Well, that's strange.
As you
Very
move
strange.
further into the direwood, these black petrified trees become more prevalent until you are almost like relieved when you see a normal tree amongst them. The ground, the soil takes on a red hue the further in you get. All the undergrowth turns brown and pale.
Have any of you seen anything like this before?
Never. And I've dealt with a lot of dead things.
Yeah. Well. At least nothing is attacking us. That's something. Yet. Oh god.
You follow the centaur, but at some point it appears as if he is a bit confused. It's like stopping for a moment, looking over his shoulder, looking ahead, looking up, trying to find the sun. But there's this thin haze in the air, so it's difficult to say exactly where the sun is.
What's the matter?
I'm not entirely sure if we're going the right way. If I'm honest.
When were you last here?
At least 5-7 years ago, and it wasn't this bad back then. I could try to find a way back. If we backtrace a bit.
Do you think we would be close enough to like see the fortress, like if we were on a high point?
If one were to climb a tree, I had not considered that. That's not part of, he like indicates his horse body. It never occurred to me. But yes, I suppose if someone could get to the top of the trees, they might be able to spot the fortress.
I would like to climb one of the trees, if possible.
Right. So there are all these black petrified trees.
Yeah.
And then you can see in the distance there's one of these white oaks, pale white oaks. So you are spoiled for choice. What you want to climb?
I climbed the tallest tree that I can see, like right in our vicinity.
The oak does seem to be taller than the blackened petrified trees. It seems as if the top branches and parts of these trees have broken off at some point, falling onto the ground and shattering almost like glass.
Oh,
So they are a bit stunted.
we take the white oak.
All right, so you gather around and you start climbing. Make a strength athletics check. To make your way up into the branches.
15.
15? Yeah. So you find a good branch, start climbing. It's strange. I mean, you've probably climbed trees before. You know what a tree is like. You'd expect a tree standing out here in the relative sunlight would be slightly warm to the touch. But this just feels too cold, as if it's almost like it's drawing in the heat instead of absorbing it and like re-radiating it. Make a perception check as you make your way up amongst the top of the branches.
14.
Look around. 14. You look around, you can see all the other treetops sort of sticking up out of this haze. And you see something, a shadow, looming somewhere in the distance. But it's difficult to tell what it actually is because the haze is like layers and layers just thicken, obscuring your view.
Would a spyglass make it easier to see, or?
You can try again with the spyglass.
I would like to try with the spyglass.
Train it on it.
19.
19. With a spyglass, you can make out the contours of the shadow, and you think that they are artificial in nature. They're too sharp to be just a rough formation, too regular to be coincidental.
I think I see something in the distance.
You two on the ground also make perception checks.
Alright. I see nothing. 8.
14.
8. Alright. So, Balthazar, you're just looking up at Dino climbing around up there. Bethroga, you notice that somewhere like halfway down the tree, there's like the bark slowly splits apart, and there's just like this red eye appearing, and then the pupil turned down, looking at you. And then you can see some of the branches sort of like rise up slowly towards Dinok.
Hey, Dinok, get down from there! I just start yelling and waving my arms like, get down!
Do I see this now that it's been called
Well,
attention
now
to?
that's been pointed out, you're on the ground, and you can also see, and Dinok, you also see these two almost like arms made of thick branches intertwining, reaching up towards you.
I jump as far away from them as I can.
All right. Do you have any other plans apart from
I
jumping?
plan to land on the ground.
All right. You jump out into midair, dodging the two arms, and then you fall.
Can I try to catch him?
Sure. Make a, I don't know, strength athletics check.
These are one of my good ones. Ooh, yeah, that's 19.
19. All right.
No, wait, it has gone up. It's 20.
20.
I forgot that I had boosted strength. Yes.
So Dinok, you leap out, and for a moment you're just like weightless, graceful, and then you start plummeting. But you can see Belfroga sort of like running around on the ground, and then as you fall down, she sort of grabs you and just like swings you around, using your momentum to break your fall, so you don't take any damage from it.
Nice.
And then you like put down on the ground.
Just standing here like sort of a mannequin, just.
Is the eye still there?
Yeah. And now you see that another one has opened, and there's almost this face, like a knot in the bark, could be a nose, and a seam below it could be a mouth. And the arms come down, and they gain momentum as they come down towards you.
I cast a firebolt towards one of the eyes.
All right, everyone roll initiatives.
Oh god.
God damn it!
I will go first in this round.
Woo. Natural 20.
Oh,
I will go last.
I will not go first this round.
All right.
12.
Sounds like Bathroga has the highest, so 12. And Dinok?
23.
Oh, all right, 23.
It's just because you said natural 20, so I would not be going. Wait, does that actually even have any influence when it's initiative?
Yeah. And Balthazar?
8.
8. And Gerbalist? Oh, 17. Gerbalist. 17. I guess Centaur is also here. 2.
No.
Alright, do you have no... well, Bright Scratch, but she's just... she's not with you at the moment.
Catatonic.
She's somewhere. We don't know where exactly.
So yeah, she's hiding in the trees. Maybe.
There's no roof for her to be on. Where is she?
The roof of the forest.
Ah,
Oh my
Alright,
god.
so the tree with its natural 20 goes first. And it just carries out its attack. 2 of these hands slam down, one aimed at Balthazar, the other one at, I guess, at Gerbalist. Because they were on the ground when it made the attack. So, Balthazar, does 12 hit you?
Oh, yeah, my armor class is 12, so yes.
Shit. And the other one also hits Gerbalist. Alright. So you, Balthazar, take 18 bludgeoning damage. As this pale branch just slams down on you, and you like sort of crushed, forced into the ground, and then lifts up.
Alright.
And the other hand hits Gerbalist. Also for 16 bludgeoning damage.
10.
And then let's see. Good. Then the arms will rise up for another attack. dirt dripping from the branches. But Dinok, you get to make your move.
Let us see. I would like to jump up and see if I can stab one of the eyes.
Yes. Yeah. So they're like maybe 15 feet up, but you're a monk. You can probably jump that distance.
Probably.
Just check how many hit points Grubelust has.
There's a 19 hit.
Yes, it hits.
Nice.
So yeah, you run up, take a few steps up the front of the tree, and then just jam a dagger into one of the eyes. Make some attack damage roll.
Oh, lovely. That is 10 damage.
10 damage. And I assume this is piercing damage.
Yeah.
10 damage.
What happens to the eye? Like, is it like bark, like to step into, or?
When you hit it, it feels as if you're hitting like a piece of granite almost. So it nice sort of like skids around and jams into the softer bark around the eye.
Oh, so the bark is softer than the eye, or?
It appears so. They are almost like made of dense glass balls.
Oh, then I would like to stab into the tree once more and see if I can carve out some bark.
Alright. Carve your name.
Yeah.
Make another attack roll.
That is 26.
Yeah, that hits. So you're sort of like hanging with one dagger in the eye socket and then just the other one jamming in.
No, I'll have to like pull it out and then.
Oh, it's the same dagger. So alright, you pull it out, make a backflip, and stab it.
I only have one hand. So.
Oh shit!
Right.
I don't know even how you're doing this, but you do it.
And that is 7 damage.
7 damage. Alright.
And I spent a key point to make 2 more attacks, just unarmed attacks, where I try to rip the bark away.
Alright. So you like carve, and then get your fingers in there and try to pull it out.
See if I can make sort of like a hole into the tree.
Make an attack roll. Or 2.
Okay, 26 on the first one.
That's a hit.
And 17 on the second.
That's also a hit.
Nice. Okay. $12 damage in total.
12. Alright. So you're doing all this first with a dagger. So with your fists, that would be bludgeoning damage, I suppose.
Yeah.
Are your unarmed attacks magical yet?
Oh, I don't think so.
Alright. So you punch it and rip at it. It doesn't feel super effective, but you're dealing some damage. Like when you look at what you're doing, this is massive, but then you zoom out and see the entire tree, and it's just like a tiny spot where you're ripping the bark.
That's okay.
Alright. Anything else you want to do? Otherwise,
I would like to. I would like to fish out the at the dragon heart in
Alright.
my backpack.
Alright. So I think that was your turn.
Yep.
Grubelust draws his longsword and rushes in and tries to make 2 attacks against this thing. Only one of them hits and deals a bit of damage. Deals 7 slashing damage. And just like hits it on the side, and huge splints of bark flies out, and the whole tree shivers a bit. So that is. And that is his turn. Bethrogar.
Yes.
What do you want to do?
I want to see if I can chop down the tree with my great axe.
All right. So you rush in.
Yes.
Just as are you doing this angrily or just out of curiosity?
Yeah, of course. I become. I use my rage. That.
You just like flip the switch.
Yeah, just flip the anger switch and just get really pissed.
There's like something that looks like a table next to you. Just
yeah, I just flip.
Now you flip the centaur.
Oh yeah, I flipped the centaur. Nice. Yes. So roll, and I rolled. The fuck is modifier? What is my modifier? 20.
20. That's a hit.
Yay.
So and also give it a big whack with the axe right next to the place where Grubbelush hit.
11 damage.
11. All right. Very good. And you have an extra attack, I believe.
Yes. Let's try again. Math. It is 23.
That's definitely a hit.
Nice. And it's 11 damage again.
All right. Very good. So you hit it twice, just carving out huge chunks of it, and it's shaking as you hit it. Leaves falling down from the branches all around you. And Grubbelush, wow, let's cut down this tree. Balthazar.
Yes.
Your turn.
While everyone is rushing in, I am going to step back.
All right.
And use my movement to get away from it. So hopefully it can't reach me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna cast a good old firebolt. See if I can hit the spot D-Knock already pulled some bark off us.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see how well you do.
What is that? So that is 14.
14. You throw the firebolt, and it just whizzes through the top branches, burning leaves dropping down, but it doesn't seem to have hit anything vital.
Okay. Well, that's it then.
All right. The centaur will spring into action, also take a few steps back, and then charge in, drawing it. It has like some sort of like a pike that it lowers and just tries to jam it into the side of the tree. But it just glances off the side of the bark. It tries to like stab it inside again and just completely fails. Jams it in there, and then there's like a fold in the bark that closes over the tip of the spear into like struggling to get it out again. Then the tree looks down at the centaur. These two red eyes turning on him. And then the two hands just slam down towards him. Both of them hit.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. Goodbye.
Away it goes. So that is 22, 28 bludgeoning damage. So that is math. All right. So the two hands comes down, lands on top of the centaur, and when they lift up again, the centaur's just like squeezed into a hole. So it's like struggling to get its hooves loose out of the ground. It appears one of its legs are broken.
We have to put him down.
Sorry, old lad. I'll have to put you down.
Dinner.
Yeah. Can I still see the sort of hole that has been ripped in the bark?
Yeah, it's still in front of you.
Okay, I would like to see if I can squeeze the dragon heart inside that hole.
All right. Make an attack roll to see.
21.
How do you do that? 21. All right. You take out the heart, and it's been in your bag for a few days, couple of weeks maybe. So it's pretty disgusting, just running with all kinds of green liquids running down your arm as you lift it up. You can feel like a burning sensation where the liquid hits your skin and just like starts to jam this thing in. You can see like sprays of this ooze as you're jamming it against the side of the tree. You can see where it touches the tree, the pale bark and the pale like wood flesh underneath turns dark, almost black, and you can see there are like tendrils running out from the point into the bark, and the tree shakes. So you think you did something with that?
And then I would like to make an extra attack where I push a dagger into the side of the heart to see if I can make it bleed even more.
Sure.
Or
make an attack roll.
Yeah, that probably doesn't hit. 15.
15. So you do that, and blood and these oozes just spray from the heart as it almost explodes like a water balloon. None of it hits the tree. Some of it hits you.
Fuck!
You take 8 poison damage.
Oh god. And I would like to try and move away.
Alright,
I
so you
guess.
just, like, rip out the dagger and then drop down.
Yeah.
To the ground. Do you want to move actually away from the tree, or do you just want to stay down there?
I would like to move away from the tree. I know I might get hit.
What's your armor class?
16.
16. And it rolled a 19.
Fuck.
Oh no.
So you move away, and it's like raising its hand from the attack against the centaur. The notice you drop down, and just like grabs a hold of you for a moment, just gives you a squeeze before dropping you onto the ground. And you take 14 bludgeoning damage from that.
That's okay, I'm still alive.
Okay. I thought we were gonna have daggers all over again with the attack of
No.
opportunity death.
No.
Then Grapalust moves in to attack. And he hits once again. And deals some damage. Just hacking away at the tree. Ah, you tree! You don't deserve to live here! Nothing deserves to live here! Bethroga.
Well, I'm just gonna continue my very complicated battle strategy as a barbarian.
Hit it until
Hit the
it
tree with my great axe.
And there's also a bit of this green ooze that rains down from the exploded heart. Just not enough to
Hit
do
it
damage.
until it stops moving.
Alright, give me some attack rolls.
That's my strategy. Yes. 21.
That's a hit.
10 damage.
Alright.
Hit it again. Hit it again. 25.
25, that's also a hit.
Yay. And 11 damage.
11. Very good.
I love my strategy. It's so complicated and
Battles the sword.
get angry, hit stuff.
Yes. Well, No, let's just no, fuck it. Guiding bolt.
Oh, alright.
I'll just have to
Guiding bolt.
see how much damage that is real fast. Alright. I don't have enough dice, so I'll just it takes... Oh wait, I need to actually attack first. Well, let's see. Let's see if it hits.
Tempting fate.
Yes. Well, now I at least have the number if it hits. So that's plus... So that would be 16?
That just about hits.
Oh, thank God.
You shoot it, and for a moment you think, oh shit, it's gonna miss. But then it just catches it on the side.
You just managed to guide the guiding bolt.
I just...
Oh.
Should
How
I
much
just
damage?
use the damage I rolled? That's
sure.
20.
20, and that is radiant.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then advantage on the next attack roll. Whoever does that.
The centaur raises one hand, draws the sword, and just tries to hit the tree. It misses on the first attack, and what's that? +6 hits on the second. It does 7 slashing damage. That's... Alright, you can see from the places where you hit it with the axe and the swords and all that, there's just black goo that starts to oozing out of the wounds down onto the ground, smelling of resin. The tree bows down, reaches down for the centaur, grabs it, and gives it a good squeeze. And lifts it up, squeezes, and you can see red fluid run down between the branches, down the pale branches, and then just lets go, and this limp centaur drops to the ground. Well, actually, it takes that centaur and hurls it at Balthazar.
Alright.
And that is a 29 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Alright. Just making sure. Alright. So that is 6, 11, 13, 19 bludgeoning damage. This is dead centaur flies towards you, hits you, and you're sort of like trapped on it like a Theoden.
Alright.
You're still up?
Just barely.
Alright,
Oh,
then
God.
it is Dinok's turn. So we're going a bit over time, but we'll
That
take one more round.
it would be bad to stop mid-fight.
So the tree looks pretty shaky. You can see leaves are just starting to drop from the branches, just withering and falling.
Oh my God.
And the
I
black
cannot
tendrils from the heart are spreading out across its skin.
I just realized something. I can no longer use a bow. Fuck.
Should have a crossbow.
I do have a crossbow. But that doesn't really...
Well, you
I'll
can
just
certainly
jump
try
in.
to use a bow.
I mean, you probably had to relearn how to use. Yeah, you can try to make an attack with disadvantage.
Nah. I'll jump in with a short sword and try to stab again 2 times.
All right. Being an attack roll or 2 attack rolls.
That is 20 on unnatural on the first one, and
That's it.
19 on the second.
2 hits.
Hell yeah.
As you just slash and sword.
16 damage
16.
total.
Alright. So that is... And you can, as you hit a piece of the bark, you can see like there's a strip of bark where the top has been infested with these black tendrils, and as you hit it, the whole piece of bark just comes shattering down onto the ground, exposing the pale wood underneath that is quickly being infested by the black tendrils from the place where you shoved in the heart. Do you have anything else you want to do? Any more attacks? Movement?
I would like to go back again, just out of reach of those arms.
Alright. As you do so, one of the hands just grabs down and just hits you on the back, sending you flying in the direction you are moving. You take 19 bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
You're flung over next to Balthasar.
Yep.
Grubbelusht goes in for the attack with his sword. Sword attack! Twice. But somehow misses the tree twice. Bethroga.
Yes. Well, I'll go for the heart
Alright,
with my axe.
just jump up.
So that is 22.
22
And damage is 14.
14. Right, you jump up, swing the axe, and hit it straight in the place where Dina shoved in that dragon heart. And the rest of the heart just sort of like splatters across the skin of the tree. And then the whole thing sags a bit, and the 2 eyes roll out of their sockets, drop to the ground, and shatter.
Nice.
And then the arms just fall down on the ground.
Nice.
So, how are you looking, Dina? Okay, good times. Do I have the centaur on top of me?
Yeah.
Or
Oh yeah, Balthazar has a centaur on top of him.
can I try and get out from under there?
Oh, make a strength athletics check.
Well, of all the things. 14?
14.
Yeah.
Try to lift it, but oh Jesus! I mean, it's literally a horse.
Alright, well, then in that case, just let's see how well these gifts you've given me work. And I put my hands on the centaur, and I use Revivify.
All right. Let me just check. Should work. But just to be sure. Do you have a diamond worth 300 PP?
Oh shit. Right, I don't. Fuck, I forgot to. I don't have that. Oh well.
Then I just buy that.
Just
then
the
I-
invoice in your head.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly have the powers to grant you, but these spells do take components, you know. I guess
Well, that's
you're
not.
new to that.
That doesn't help a lot. Well, I'm just trying to get out, really.
Like your hands glow up, but not doing anything. You know what?
Grubbelusht, help!
I
Can
think
I
with
try to help him out? Like,
Do I need
You
to
know-
roll? Do I need to roll death saves?
are you knocked down?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So yeah.
Like,
Well, you know what? We'll just
should I
save
just
this
roll
whole
all of them?
situation for
Alright.
next time. and we'll see if Balthazar can be wedged out from under the centaur.
Oh,
Was
die
I even
here.
hit during this entire fight? I don't think I was hit.
Well, probably not.
I don't
What
think you
the
were.
fuck? What? Okay.
Yes. So we will be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central European time, for some more dragon adventures.
Yes.
I mean, we really got some dragons now. It's almost taking over.
That's
Too
true.
much dragon trouble.
Tree trouble.
Tree trouble. Yeah. Yes. Well, unless you have anything to add,
No,
you're gonna do the wave
the old wave.
and say goodbye.
Bye.